Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another video. So I'm back. I had 5 days, well, technically 4 days, at the Download Festival, which is a heavy metal festival. My husband is really into his heavy metal. I like some of the bands. This year they had my ultimate, my huge, massive favourite band, which is Disturbed, play. So I was really happy. However, there were downsides. One, I'm not as young as I used to be. And I know some of you that will have you laughing, but seriously, after 4 days of camping in dirt, in desert conditions, the whole place, because of the heat wave, it's Donington racetrack, and all of the grass was dead. And it was just sandy, dirt, mud. And every time the wind blew, it was more like being at the Burning Man festival. We were absolutely covered head to toe. They had hot showers. We paid to use the more luxury resorts, which is a complete swizz, to be honest with you, because it was still pretty gnarly at times. But the moment you had a shower and you came out, gust of wind, you were covered again. So after 4 days, before the final day, we decided to leave. We decided to pack up early and we went to Whittlebury Hall, which is a golf club and spa. So I spent the last day that I was meant to be at a festival in a hot tub, in a sauna, and swimming and just relaxing before we came back. No regrets whatsoever. I think we would have stayed if it hadn't been for the extreme heat, but as you can tell, I caught the sun a little bit. I was careful, I didn't get burnt, but it was a lot. The festival in itself is amazing, but I definitely think when we decide to go back in a couple of years' time that we are gonna go for the VIP, which means you get to stay in a hotel and they ferry you to and from the exclusive bits. It will triple the price of the ticket, but I have realised that as I've got older, I am becoming a bit more of a princess. Now, speaking of princesses and Whittlebury Hall, this brings me on to the first part of the royal video, and that is when we arrived. I had no idea about this. I knew that we were near Althorpe, and that is Princess Diana's resting place. It's her family home. Her brother Charles Spencer still owns the Althorpe estate. But this golf club that we went to, it was just pure fluke. I went on hotels.com and found the nearest spa. And when I walked in, letters were on the wall, and it turned out they were handwritten letters by Princess Diana. What are the chances? So I've taken some photographs here, and I'm going to keep them up for a few seconds. I hope they're good quality enough. If you want to read them, you can keep pausing the YouTube video to have a nose, if you can read Princess Diana's handwriting. But the letters were between Princess Diana and Mrs. Pendry, who were housekeepers at her family home at Althorpe. Now, I only briefly read a couple of them. It feels intrusive. I do understand that they wanted to share the letters to show how sweet and lovely Diana was, that she was very caring, incredibly polite. But there's just something about it that I felt uncomfortable. I read a couple of them, but it's a strange feeling, to be honest with you. There's just something about seeing such personal letters displayed on a hotel wall. It's like if I was going to see someone's letters, personal letters, famous people throughout history. You know, you go to museums, you go to exhibitions, but it was just random to see such personal and intimate letters just on a hotel lobby wall. And there's a bit where I think with Diana, she has been completely exploited, even more so since her death. There is nothing that is not up for consumption. There is literally everything about Diana, her life, her belongings, letters, absolutely everything. At some point, someone has sold. And it's become even more prominent, I would say, in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, due to her youngest son, Harry, because Harry's insistence on bringing his mother up all the time, and then Meghan obviously contributing to that, I think it's reignited public interest in Diana. But the problem is we've now been presented with Netflix documentaries and people now writing books and magazines. Harry's version of his mum and the things that he remembers. It's like it's a distorted image of Diana. It's not the real Diana anymore. And I find it incredibly sad. She should be left to rest in peace. I mean, it was only last week with Harry, with this court case, that he dragged his mother under the spotlight again and brought up the James Hewitt affair because he was talking about the unfair rumours about James Hewitt being his father, which is one that I don't believe. Sorry, Harry looks too much like his grandfather and Prince Charles. You just need to see the right photographs. It's because he does have a lot of the Spencer gene in him. But I still think those rumours were incredibly unfair. But my point being is Harry trying to prove his this point has just reminded the world that Diana had a few lovers, let's be honest. It's just sad that Harry cannot see that he's actually beginning to tarnish his mother's legacy and memories. Harry is so full of vengeance on this mission to destroy the free press that he doesn't care who he drags under this messy spotlight with him. And another woman that he has dragged into the spotlight in his quest for attention, spare sales, his court cases, is his ex, Chelsea Davy. Now, Chelsea, she did not want a life with Harry, and it's time that he has to let her go. She did not want to be under the royal spotlight. She did not enjoy it. She left him. Harry is now dragging her back out. He's pulled her onto the same worldwide stage that he's on due to his promotion of Spare and now his court cases. Chelsea has moved on. She is a mother to a young baby. She's happily married to a rather handsome husband. But they split. Harry and Chelsea split in 2010. She wanted a normal, quiet life. Courtesy of Harry, she's since been trending on social media. She's appeared in magazines, newspapers, tabloids, and non-stop since Harry started moaning about losing the love of his life. There's not any moment of Harry that he's considering all these women that he keeps bringing up. Caroline Flack's name gets brought up again. That's not fair on her family. What about the women that he slept with? He's given intimate details out about women just so he can prove his point about how his privacy was invaded. Harry seems to think it's okay to talk about other men's wives, that he can criticise them, reveal personal, intimate details, conversations and stories about them as of when he pleases. But my lord, if anyone dare question Meghan's integrity, her ambitions or things that she's done, the people that she's upset, well, that is a declaration of war. And the other thing is, he's actually not asking these women their permission. Sasha, the lady from Spare who he lost his virginity to, she didn't ask to be dragged into that. And yes, people said she was the one that came forward because it was only a matter of time before people worked out who it was. People in their circles knew who it was. People will take money to grass up people, to give stories. And that's another thing that Harry's not quite grasping. He's blaming the media for every story that's ever leaked about him on that they've, illegally obtained the information, that they've phone hacked. Sorry, I believe that a lot of the time it could be friends of friends or people down the pub that have overheard or seen Harry's behaviour that have actually solved the story themselves. One of Chelsea's family friends has said that he didn't ask her, he didn't even tell her that this is what he was going to do. This is Harry, the feminist that Meghan declared to the world. Harry is such an amazing feminist, and I don't think that he ever grasped what that word truly meant. It's clearly obvious that Harry doesn't have a single thought, a moment of how other people feel, how it's going to make other people feel, how it's going to affect their lives by him running his mouth off. Now, as for one of Harry's many court cases, I do not believe that his case is genuinely about phone hacking. I think that he is Meghan's puppet, and when she wants him to be, he is her attack dog. If you look at all of the people that Harry has gone after, all of the people that he's personally attacked and publicly, they are all people that have criticised Meghan. They might have questioned Meghan's motives. They might have told Harry to slow down in the relationship. This is family, this is friends. You think of everyone that Harry has cut off. It's not just the press, all the people in his life personally. He cut off his brother, his sister-in-law. He's fallen out with absolutely everyone, and it always comes back to one common denominator. They potentially caused a risk to Meghan not getting her own way. Anyone that told Harry, take a step back, slow it down, don't marry an actress, they were the first to get cut off. And not only that, Harry has been incredibly vindictive and vengeful. And that's because he's got poison being dripped in his ear. He feels that he is protecting his wife, and all he's doing is being her puppet. And it's very sad to watch. Harry confirmed this for me in his closing statement last week, where he turned around and said, the reason why he's brought the case against the Mirror Group is to end the absolute intrusion and hate towards Meghan and himself. I'm thinking, Hey, this is supposed to be about phone hacking and people using illegal means to obtain information, basically illegal stalking using private detectives. Meghan wasn't in his life. This case is between 1996 and 2011. These are the years that he feels that this was happening to him. And I'm not saying that some of it didn't happen, but what the hell has that got to do with Meghan? It's the same as everything. Harry has only decided since he met Meghan that he's going to sue the press, that he was hacked. His world has been opened up to this new version of events. His childhood was awful. His relationship with his brother was awful. Only since he met her. Everyone at this point should wake up and see that the only reason Harry has got a problem now is because his wife has told him that he has. Harry's court cases are not about trying to make the world a better place. They are about settling scores for his wife. In his own words, he even admits, and this is just ridiculous, in his court case on the stand, he admits, no, there's actually no evidence. I know there's no evidence, but this is a bit that made me chuckle. There is hard evidence to suggest an incredible amount of suspiciousness. So there's no evidence that he was hacked, but there is hard evidence to show that there is a high level of suspiciousness. What? Honestly, you can't make it up. But speaking of suspiciousness, there is another story that's come out surrounding the couple, and guess what? Suspicion is all around it. A small child of Harry's was reportedly gifted a bike for his birthday, and it was naturally posted on social media for the world to see. It's never ever directly by Meghan. She gets these companies to post on her behalf. So a bike shop called Mad Dogs and Englishmen in Montecito decided to give a free bike to a multi-millionaire's son, i.e. Prince Archie, as a token gift. Now, this is sweet for Archie. It's his birthday. Yes, he is a multi-millionaire, and you'd think that the parents would turn around and say, that's really nice of you, but, he's got more than enough stuff. Why don't you donate that? Or they would donate it, right? But at the end of the day, you can't begrudge a 4-year-old getting a gift. It's because he's rich and his parents are multimillionaires. That's not his fault. And you could say that about him for the rest of his life. Archie should never be given anything because his parents are rich. That's not fair, is it? However, this is how the world of Instagrammers and influencers works. You get a product for free, you then advertise for free, and then the company thinks that all of your followers will then purchase that product, unless, of course, you are Bud Light. But this is obviously something we've seen Meghan do, not just in the Tig blog. She did it when she was part of the royal family. Meghan was accepting free stuff. This came out in Tom Bower's book Revenge. And this is the reason why, I believe it was Melissa Tubati, the lady that quit working for Meghan because she made her cry her eyes out. She apparently was trying to tell Meghan, you can't keep asking for freebies. This isn't the done thing. So Meghan went batshit crazy and, lost another few employees. So this is something that I don't think is that far out there, that Meghan approached the bike shop, potentially, and turned around and said, we'd like a free bike. You can use our names and our titles to advertise your shop. You get free publicity, we get free stuff. Now, the reason why I believe this theory all the more is because they doubled down with a thank you note. You can't just say that they sold a bike to Archie if Meghan and Harry are not going to admit it. So then the shop released, this is what started it all off, a thank you note from Harry and Meghan, or rather the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. No, it wasn't a lovely calligraphy handwritten letter by Meghan's fair penmanship. It was a printed letter signed off by a member of Harry and Meghan's staff. So Harry and Meghan couldn't even sign it themselves, but one thing is clear, they mention the Duke and Duchess of Sussex 3 times in a very, very small letter. So the shop has then posted on their Instagram, and the bit that's a bit of a giveaway for me is, we hope that they don't mind us sharing. Right, yeah, Harry and Meghan that have become famous for suing people at the drop of the hat, unless you are, of course, Tom Bower and Valentine Lowe. And that's because that they told the truth. But for them to say, oh, we hope that they don't mind, of course they would mind, unless it had been pre-agreed and pre-arranged. So when the press got hold of this, of course, because it, spread on social media like wildfire, as it was meant to do, free publicity for the bike shop. And it puts Harry and Meghan in the newspapers again. When the owner was interviewed, she said, "Every celebrity in that town has bought bikes from us and they all come through here." Do you get that? All the celebrities come through here. Yet she goes on to say that none of them sent a thank you letter. All these celebrities that come through here, no one sent us a thank you letter before, just Harry and Meghan. Well, it's because you said that they bought the bike. It doesn't matter if they're a celebrity. Who goes into a shop, buys something and then says, "I'll send them a thank you letter. Thank you for letting me spend my money in your shop. I really appreciate your kindness." It doesn't make sense, does it? Now, the bike shop got a lot of backlash because they've donated a bike to a multi-millionaire's child, a prince. And, they're saying, why not donate bikes if you're going to do that to less fortunate children? So they did receive a lot of backlash, which in turn then has got the shop owner to start up a GoFundMe. And this is where it gets weirder. I initially read this and I thought, oh, actually, this is quite nice. Basically, on the post she's put here, you can read it for yourself, and it says that lots of our supporters wanted to get on board. We've decided that we're going to make donations of bikes to less fortunate children, and they want to get involved, and you can donate here. But as people quickly corrected my naivety on social media, they were like, no, this is a scam. Why? If they wanted to give unfortunate kids bikes, they would just give them the bikes. They take the cut themselves. What they're doing here is a charity tax break. They could be saying out of the donations that, the bike cost this much to make and, shaving off some stuff. I just saw it as a nice thing. But the more people that responded to my post, I was like, oh, this is looking really dodgy. Why can't people just do nice stuff anymore? I don't know 100% if this is true, but it does look a bit weird. Why not just donate the bikes from your shop? Why are you asking the public to donate for you to do this? Other concerns people expressed was, even if you do give these bikes, these super expensive bikes to less fortunate kids, what are they going to be in less, fortunate neighborhoods? Kids get robbed all the time. They don't get robbed just by other kids. They get robbed by adults. There's lots of things. Or, would they be better off having that money to go towards things? There's lots of things that you can do to help less fortunate kids. Giving them an expensive bike might be a nice gesture initially, but it can also potentially cause problems. But that all being said, that's not the big story that I took from this, the huge story, the one that had me in a little bit of hysterics, and God forgive me for this one, but I've got to share this with you. The owners, they create bikes for people with dogs. You can have your dog in a sidecar. They've called the shop Mad Dog. They are dog lovers. And they have a dog themselves who they've nicknamed Chunky Monkey all over their Instagram. And she sits in the shop and she welcomes visitors, which I think's lovely. But she is a female dog, which is known as a bitch. Boy dogs are called dogs, girl dogs are called bitches. And they've actually called their girl dog, Meghan Markle. And no, this is not a joke. No, I am not ribbing you. She is actually called Meghan Markle and she's got a dog tag. So right now, and as a matter of fact, in Montecito, there is a bitch called Meghan Markle living there. Oh, I found it absolutely hysterical. And as I said, perhaps Meghan caught wind of this dog being named after her, and that's possibly more of the reason why Archie has got a free bike. So guys, tell me what you think on that one. I will be back with you tomorrow. I've got loads of stuff to cover. There's Trooping of the Colour, there's the Queen's Reading Room, there's more stuff with Harry, who's trying to get positive PR using US veterans, and I will be back to chat with you then, and I'll see you in the comments. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button to the video, and hit that pesky annoying notification bell, and I will see you really soon. Take care for now. Bye.